If that doesn't get you going, nothing will, Muskegon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Muskegon Rotary. My name's Dave Alexander. I have the pleasure and honor of serving as president this year. Okay, what did we just hear? Okay, what's the name of the song? It's the closing. Now, Blues Brothers had Briefcase Full of Blues. It was a live album at Universal Amphitheater in LA. What year? 77, 78. Okay, they had an opening and a close. This is the closing version of that. Name of the song? I Can't Turn You Loose. Okay. Blues Brothers were a blues soul. They covered for 50s, 60s, and 70s off of that album. Who are the Blues Brothers? Oh, yes. Elwood Blues is Dan Aykroyd, and the late Jake Blues is John Belushi. They had a 9-member blues band, but where did that song, I Can't Turn You Loose, first come from? Oh, I got you stumped on this one. Otis Redding, 1965, written and performed. Okay, enough music trivia. Program today will be a presentation from Muskegon Public Schools on their Innovation Academies of Muskegon. We'll begin with a Pledge of Allegiance, then a reflection from Bill Erickson, and we will then recite the 4-way test at the end of the meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bill?
Let me ask you a question. Has anybody been pushing your buttons lately? You remember Staples? They had that big red button that says, that was easy. Remember that? I'm not talking about that button. I'm talking about your panic button. There are certain people have a tendency to push your buttons. Certain professions have a tendency to push your buttons. Like my auto mechanic, when he says, well, it was the last time you checked your transmission fluid. Oh, no. Or he says, how much did you pay for this car? Oh, no. Or my dentist. He said, who says, this is going to pinch a little. Oh, no. Or looks in my mouth and says, do you have dental insurance? Or what about lawyers? I'm going to quote you a very generous fee. Oh, no. Or they say, maybe we should take our chances on a jury. Oh, no. Lots of people want to push your buttons. The 6 o'clock news. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I have a solution. Works for me. It's my plan. It may not work for you, but it's my plan. It goes like this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Grant me the courage that I may change the things that I can. And grant me the wisdom to know the difference. Here's my point. People are going to push your buttons. Certain things are going to push your buttons. Don't let them. Have a plan. Amen?
Amen.
Okay, we return to our seats now and finish our lunch, networking and mingling. We'll be back shortly. Pull it back together. All visiting Rotarians, guests of Rotarians, please come forward. Emily has got the mic for you to give a brief introduction. To my right. You tell him, very, as you hand it to him, very brief. I like that. Megan's up first.
Hello, hello. Megan Bayard-Caraba with the Muskegon Area ISD Career and College Readiness Program Director. Once again, I have my friend Bernard Brown here joining me as a guest. Bernard is not only my friend, but he is my boss. So I love having him here with me at Rotary. His application is going before the Rotary Board next week. We're super excited about that. And he'll be able to wear his badge proudly, Red Star, and join all the amazing things.
Hello, Claire Root Benson, and my guest again this week is Zuri Lebrenz, my former student, and Big Red. Go Big Reds. Woo! She is working on preparations for her examination to become a medical assistant, and her application is also before the board for next week.
Greg Boardman from Silver Lining Structures. I promised Emily I would keep this brief.
You will keep this.
I will. So I have a returning guest, Mr. Tom Fof, who does IT for the U.S. government. He's got an application in hand, and he's going to join. And a returning friend of mine who is now a member and will be inducted next week, and this is Dion Stumpo from State Farm Insurance. Farm Bureau, oops!
Hi, I'm Kelly DeVos with Shelby State Bank, and I have my guest Sarah Gilbert. She is the director of Rooted in Community that is here to help with the foster children in Muskegon County.
Hello, my guest today is Bob Garrettson, and he is the owner and CEO of Embark Financial Partners. I got to know Bob well as not only a downtown neighbor, fellow downtown neighbor, but also he served on the Community Encompass Board for over a decade. He also serves on the West Michigan Symphony Board. He also recently threw his hat into the ring for City of Muskegon Mayor, so is adding very cool things to the dialogue around what is best for our city. So welcome, Bob Garrettson.
Hello everyone, Kendra Robinson here. I am happy to welcome our Reese Puffer Rocket students today. Today with us we have Miss Paula Olson. She is a counselor there and she's going to introduce two wonderful seniors.
All right. Hi, I'm Paula Olson. I'm one of the counselors at Reese Puffer High School, and I am honored and delighted to present Braden Ross and Olivia Smith to you. They're two of our outstanding seniors. They are involved, they are impactful, not only in our school community and their senior class, but just like our school campus as a whole. So we're excited to share a little bit about them and just share them with you because they're delights.
My name is Braden Ross. I am a senior at Reese Puffer High School. I am involved in the National Honor Society program. I'm involved in the robotics program and the soccer program. And we do start districts today at home against Cadillac at 6. Be there. And for my future, I plan on going to college somewhere. I plan on getting a mechanical engineering degree.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm also a senior, and I'm involved in NHS, leadership, youth executive committee, stats, and the tennis program. And I plan on going to college to get a medical degree and hopefully become a pediatric surgeon. So, yeah.
Welcome all guests and students. My Muskegon Minute today Last week, I highlighted 4 stories on Muskegon Lake development. Let me return to one of them today. A week ago Tuesday, the state's environmental agency, EGLE, had an online webinar on Windward Point and Sappi Sites issues with methane contamination on the huge former paper mill property on Muskegon Lake. The presentation was excellent on the history, science, and mitigation and future development of Windward Point. There were several media reports on the event, some better than others. All of them could have used a bit more understanding of the complex issues and, from my professional opinion, a little bit better editing. But if you're interested in the topic, and I think hopefully all of us are, please take time to watch the hour and 20-minute presentation and the questions that EGLE regulators had at the end of that time. On your tables, I have left a QR code, and that links to the YouTube video of that event. Now, we will have Lisa Tyler introduce our program.
Thank you, President Dave. So I am so excited to introduce this program, this topic, and this actual introduction that I did not write. But when you hear it, you'll know why this is the perfect introduction for me. I might be president one day. Kristen Garris is the Chief Workforce Officer at Goodwill Industries of West Michigan, where she works to remove the barriers, both systemic and personal, that keep people from finding and keeping meaningful work. She believes work can do more than pay the bills. It can create pride, stability, and momentum that change the course of a family for generations. In her role, Kristen brings together schools, businesses, and community partners, just like another organization, I know, to build workforce systems that truly work for everyone. As lead convener for the Innovation Academies of Muskegon Public Schools, she serves as the connector between students and local employers, aligning education with real opportunity. A proud Michigan State University alum, go green, go white, working alongside University of Michigan alum Superintendent Matthew Cortez, proof that sorry, I didn't pause. What a surprise. Proof that even rivals can join forces for good. Kristen brings a people-first energy to every initiative, turning big ideas into community impact. Matthew Cortez is a superintendent of Muskegon Public Schools. There you go. Now in his 7th year leading the district and his 28th year as an educator in Michigan. The 8th of 8 children and the first in his family to go to college, Matthew has lived the life-changing power of education. He believes every child deserves 2 things above all else: to learn and to be loved. Under his leadership, Muskegon Public Schools has partnered with Ford Next Generation Learning and more than 70 community and business partners to launch the Innovation Academies of Muskegon, also known as IAM, connecting students with real-world learning and career opportunities. A proud University of Michigan graduate, paused that time for you. Matthew likes to say he's proof that you can be a Wolverine and still play nice with Spartans, especially when it means better futures for kids. He leads with heart, vision, and an unwavering belief in his students' potential, and this is an excellent example of our United for Good in Rotary. Kristen and Matthew.
Matt's got me wearing the red pants, repping big reds, but you know what I will not wear? That's right.
Well, you got some gold right there.
No, it is not.
So thank you all for having us today. We're gonna go through a presentation that we've put together to give you a pretty good glimpse into what we are doing in Muskegon Public Schools and what we are doing as a community together with over 70 of our community partners, businesses, and philanthropies as we work forward. Sure. What we have in front of us right now is Ford Next Generation Learning. We partnered with them in order to adopt a structure that would get our school system to where we want it to be. We started this 3 years ago, and we are on phase 4. And in phase 4, we are implementing this year across our 9th and 10th grade, our freshman academy, and the beginning of our 2 career academies that we're going to review with you. As we move forward, we have 3 more years to go. So it is not just an implementation, it is actually a core transformation of our entire district to focus on the most important part of our district, which is our students, and to do so as a community, not just as a school district. So there's 3 basic components.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nope. There's 3 basic components to what the transformation is about. The first component is our portrait of a graduate, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, that our entire community came together to develop. Our Innovation Academies of Muskegon, our IAM program, which is starting on kindergarten level and goes all the way through our senior year. And then the guaranteed experiences for all Big Reds. And that is a huge statement to say all Big Reds. So as we progress from kindergarten through 12th grade along the bottom of this slide, we start with career awareness, we move into exploration, and then we actually put students into career experiences so that they know what they want to do the Monday after graduation. I think the next one's you.
Goodness. Hi. So we're going to talk about Portrait of a Graduate, because this is kind of where we start getting introduced to why the community collaboration is important. So for years and years, education has been what's been referred to as a sit and get kind of experience, right? That's not working anymore. All right, so we have to mix things up. So as part of the plan that Matt outlined in terms of that multi-phase process, one part of the plan included several different tactic teams. Each tactic team was charged with a different component of the plan. One of those tactic teams was Portrait of a Graduate. The Portrait of a Graduate basically says, when these students graduate, what are the core components that we want them to have? And what are we going to start teaching them from kindergarten? So, in each one of these tactic teams, there was what we call an external chair, so someone from the community, and then an internal chair, someone from the district. On this team, that group came up with 4 of the items that you see. All right, so you see collaborative relationship builder. Yes, we need that. Adaptable communicator. These are all kind of, you're nodding your head as I say this, yes. Creative problem solver. Then we have responsible citizen. These 4 were then presented to the community, and the community, including myself, said, hold up. What about getting at those soft skills? What is the #1 reason people lose their job? Attendance. How about we talk about that? How about we talk about, you know what, we got to show up. You know what, we got to stay off our phone. We have to do all these things around being a persistent professional. So you know what, the district, listen, persistent professional, it's a lot of words for a kindergartner, but you know what? When we teach them early, they're going to figure it out. Okay, they're going to figure it out. So persistent professional, all 5 of these will be the thread that continues throughout that student's experience. So let's talk about the academies. So Muskegon Public Schools, we determined, could accommodate 2 different academies. The size could accommodate 2 different academies, and the community could accommodate 2. So we limited it to 2. We then worked with organizations like GMED to give us some data, workforce development data on where are the jobs, what's up and coming. We surveyed students and said, what do you want, okay? Knowing that not everyone can be a professional football player and not everyone is going to be a YouTube influencer, but there is space for you. You can find your space, all right? So the 2 academies you see outlined here, one is Health and Human Services Academy, and then the other is Industry, Technology, and Design Academy. Each one of those academies is selected when a student is in 9th grade, okay? They then also select a pathway. So these pathways create a full experience for that student by the time they hit 10th grade. And so there is a full experience that they are exposed to in that academy within their pathway. I say this often because this is language y'all need to get used to at the schools now. So they will have exposure to that. So imagine having calculus taught to them through the lens of a nurse. Okay? How does a nurse use calculus? How does a police officer need English? Okay? Because when a student has an opportunity to get their education through the lens of a pathway that they've selected, they're differently invested in their education. The state curriculum is going to stay as it is. We're not messing with that. But if we can get a lens for them and then add some additional pathway courses to be able to really focus in on that pathway that they've selected, we're hoping for a little more energy out of the students. So we can't do this without the community, okay? Matt and I are partners on this. Where he goes, I go, and vice versa, okay? Because this can't just be a district approach if we want the best for our kids. It has to be a community approach. So that means when you take a teacher, a calculus teacher that is they've gone from school to school to school. They don't know how a nurse uses calculus in the job. So we have to come in and say, let me help you. Let me walk alongside you. That's a different experience for a kid, right? That's fantastic. So you see here, and I just want to do a raise of hands because I saw some of you come in. How many of you, of the 70 that Matt referenced, how many of you were engaged in this process, like on a tactic team? I know there's a few. Look at that. See? Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. So you see here all of the various pathways that were selected. So we have health sciences, public services and education, criminal justice, first responders. And by the way, if the kindergartner response of what they want to be when they grow up is going to hold, we're in good hands for law enforcement in several years. Let me just say, they're all going to protect our city. And we have hospitality and tourism. Obviously, we are in the hub of a lot of hospitality and tourism. And then IDT, we have engineering, advanced manufacturing. Advanced manufacturing, it's 20% of our industry. We have to find a way to get kids interested in this field. Skilled trades, I hear that all the time. Technology, art and design, and then business and entrepreneurship. What? It's not going. Mike. There we go. I won't talk a lot about this, but I did want to give you a heads up on this is what a pathway is. So this isn't just a few things in the classroom that's being said. When a student selects a pathway, we are looking at what industry credential can we have that student leave with. Okay, if they choose, for example, information technology, does it make sense to have them graduate with a CompTIA certification? Right? Does it make sense for someone in health sciences to graduate with a CNA? We don't know the answers to these questions yet, but the pathways, because we have 3 years left, we're still working it. This is building the plane while it's flying, but we're looking at all those things. Experiences, we're getting them out into the communities. Stay tuned. Big Reds are coming to you because we got to get them out. We have to let them see the different experiences and different opportunities. Stackable classes. So making sure that what does that 10th grade class look like for a student that has chosen that pathway? What's the 11th grade? So again, not the state curriculum classes, but the classes that are dedicated to that pathway. And then student organization. I heard the student talked about robotics club. That's amazing, right? For a student that's going into engineering or IT, they should be in that, okay? All right, guaranteed experiences.
So starting in kindergarten, we're going to start very young, and we create guaranteed experiences for all of our students every year. What these guaranteed experiences are rooted in is the experiences around what occupations are waiting for them in our community, what businesses, philanthropies are out there, so that they get exposed to many, many, many different things, and they actually see people that look like them and came from where they came from doing this type of work. Because our children are not readily exposed to it the way we were as children. So we have to be very purposeful in that. This year, like I said, is year 1. So we are implementing in grade 2, 5, 8, 9, and 10. The 5th grade one is an extraordinary one. And this is where we partnered with Junior Achievement and Nate over at Junior Achievement. They do a lesson inside of their 5th grade classroom. Then they go over to Grand Rapids to Junior Achievement's building, which is called BizTown. And they live in a city for a day. They get paychecks, they open bank accounts, they have to have money at the end or else they're gonna be homeless. Like, it is a real experience for these kids for like hours. Then they come back to the classroom and they have another lesson that wraps that up and gets the essential lessons for them. That's a guaranteed experience. It is not going to the zoo and petting a llama. Because we send the kids to the zoo. Seriously, I looked into it. Like 4 times in 12 years, we send them to the zoo. We don't have that many people going into zoology that we should be sending kids to the zoo 4 times. So we want to become very purposeful with what we're doing and give these students the ability of finding their own passion.
Help me out.
I don't have a clicker.
Mike's. There one.
So what's the vision? What's the ultimate goal? And the ultimate goal is 2 very simple ideas. The first is every graduate that crosses our stage will have the same diploma that everyone else in the state of Michigan gets, but they will have something else in this hand. This is their passion. This is what takes them into their next stage of life, what makes them part of our community, what gives them a connection to where they want to go. This could be a scholarship, this could be a certification. One school that I visited, they had a firefighter program right in the school. And I asked the firefighter, who was the teacher, I said, what is your greatest challenge? Is it the equipment? Is it the cost? Is it the truck? What is the biggest challenge? He's like, they're 17. I said, okay. He's like, I can't hire them. They'll graduate at 17. I can't hire them till they're 18. And I sat there and said, that's the problem I want, right? I want my students over-prepared and ready for their career walking across stage. The second part of this is all is all. It doesn't matter if you're the advanced placement student, it doesn't matter if you're a student with special needs. Every single student is entitled to this, and every single student will get the same experiences and the same ability of opportunity through everything that we do from kindergarten through 12th grade. And that is a much different educational system than all of us in here grew up in.
So the governance structure is a little complex, as you might imagine, because we have to have all the people involved in this, making sure that this is effective. So at the top of your screen, you have the steering committee. I don't believe there's any members of the steering committee here, but this is the highest level kind of governance structure that we have. This group of people is only made up, Matt's the only district person in this meeting. These are high-level community members that are really taking the temperature of what's going well. What am I hearing about this? What do we need to adjust? That team meets once a year. Right now, they're meeting a little more frequently because we're working this thing. We have the superintendent cabinet. That's always existed, it's gonna keep existing, but the spin is a little different, right? What they talk about is more about the academies now. We have the operations board in the middle. These are the people that are actually implementing the plan, all right? So they're pushers, they're doers, they're making things happen. And then there's the convening council. So the convening council, and I'm actually gonna go there. So the convening council consists of nonprofit leaders within the community, and your very own Lisa Tyler is up there. So my role is a member of the convening council, and Goodwill is the lead convener. So my role is the lead convener. A lot of this role is essentially around recruiting businesses like yourselves to be able to say, what gifts, talents, and skills are you ready and willing to give these students? And instead of having 600 teachers call you to ask you for those things, you're going to have one point of contact, okay? So it's about kind of creating this district, tell us what you need, and then we're going to help you fill it, okay? Because these people, I have a network, Lisa has a network, Gabe has a network, Rachel has a network, you see it all up here, all right? And we're taking advantage of all these folks. I call these guys my squad. All right, so speaking of pinch points, so this is kind of the diagram of what we were exposed to this early on in the process. So this is about kind of saying there is a pinch point here. At the top of the hourglass, you have industry, nonprofits, post-secondary. You then have this pinch point. Matt and I are sitting in the pinch point, along with the convening council, as well as the district transformation lead, who is Deanna Holman. And then at the bottom of that hourglass, you have the district, the staff, the students, the families. All right? So this is the model we're going by.
So when we talk about implementation, this is an example of what we're doing that's transforming our high school. We're actually taking a 1,000-student high school and making environments where students feel like it's about a 300, 350-student high school, because they operate within their own academy. As they progress through, there's different experiences for them. But one of the great examples is John Noling in here? He's not here today. Okay. So he is part of the class of 1965. And the third picture up here is what we're calling our hub room. And this is a room that is dedicated by the class of 1965 through funding that they donated and that they have made a commitment to continue to support, that supports all 3 academies in the building on special items that the students need and experiences, or, you know, if somebody comes to talk about a certain industry or something of that nature. So that partnership continues to go forward, and that's the type of partnerships that we're tying not just with our community businesses and philanthropies, but also with our graduates and our alumni.
I have one job.
So here's where we're going to talk about our why. My why is different than Kristen's why. And that's perfect because we come from 2 different worlds. My why happened 7 years ago when I interviewed for this position. And they asked me, they said, what do you think is the challenge that our district is going to face? And I said, your school district is no longer the core pillar of the community that it needs to be. And we have to return to that. A community will fail if the school district fails. It has been proven time and time again. And so my why came from the fact that in the first 3 years, 2 years after COVID, I realized there was a problem in our district. And that problem was, it was at my whim as superintendent. If I change, everything changes. We can't do that. That cannot be the way a district operates. And so we started looking at the Future Learning Council in the state of Michigan, and we discovered this place called Nashville, Tennessee. And they had Ford NGL structure for 20 years. So we went down and we visited them. And as I'm walking through the schools, I'm seeing our students finding huge success. Same social economic status, same widespread of diversity, same widespread of wealth. That impressed me because every student was included. It was all. When I sat down in a meeting, I asked them, I said, how is this bigger than me as a superintendent? And they said, it's the system that you build because it becomes a responsibility of the community. You're just the person that's helping to run it. And I said, well, how do you prove that this works? In the last 9 years, they had 8 different superintendents. And they did not miss a beat. In fact, most of those superintendents, the system spit back out. And so a new one had to be brought in. So for me, my why is, one, I like a legacy. I mean, come on, who doesn't? But two, stop serving the adults and put our kids at the front and the center and invest in our community. Very basic concepts, but I will tell you, it's revolutionary when it comes to education. And this is the hardest work that my team has ever done, but it's the most rewarding because we see it immediately happening. Your turn.
Our time's up, Mike. Will you just give me like 2 minutes? Thank you. So my why, at Goodwill, I get the opportunity to meet with adults. We're not going to stop helping adults, by the way, but hopefully we'll be a whole lot less of them. I get to meet with adults all the time that are really trying to rebuild their lives. And so my why is actually Bill. So Bill came to us after serving some time, drugs, theft, possession. But what struck me most wasn't his record. What struck me most was kind of how tired he looked. Like a guy that spent his whole life never quite living up. Bill wanted to work. He wanted to do better, but he didn't know where to start because he was never able to connect his potential to a path. And so I can't help but wonder, what if the Innovation Academies was around for Bill? What if he'd been introduced to a certification program or trade or just a reason to believe that he had value? That's my why. That's why I work with the Innovation Academies of Muskegon, because this is where we change Bill's story. It starts here. And so when we reach students early and when we help them build skills, confidence, and purpose, we're not just changing individual lives, we're building the foundation for Muskegon's future. A connected, capable, and resilient community where every person has a place to thrive. That's the why for me.
Emily, a couple of questions out there. Whoa, way in the back. Mike? Michael.
Hi, friends. So I love the model, and we've gotten to work a lot together, but I'm sure a question in the back of a lot of individuals' minds are probably reflecting on their own story like me, where I changed majors more times than I should have. In terms of like students that are choosing this path kind of early, how easy is it for them to switch or change their mind, or what does that kind of process look like in terms of flexibility?
Great question.
That is a great question. As we build the system, change is possible. But the more important part is they're not locked in. We're going to have extra seats in other pathways, extra seats in other academies. They can take those extra seats and actually get those experiences as they go through. So the one thing that's going to be a challenge a little bit is if they're headed toward a certification, there will be a time at which it's the point of like no return kind of deal. But what I say is this: how much money did that cost you to change majors? Because I changed majors at U of M from an engineer to a teacher, and I lost like 3 courses that couldn't count toward my degree. They're not losing anything here. It's not on their dollar. It's our experience as a community that's leading them to where they need to be. But they can change, but more importantly, they can still explore even once they make that commitment.
Last question.
Yes, I have a question. Number one, I think it's really great that these children get into a pathway very early on in their education. That's critical. The tail end of that is also something that's very critical, and I'm talking specifically about dual enrollment. You talked about other activities, but the studies show that high school students that get in dual enrollment and take college classes have a significantly higher percent of succeeding in the early phase they have a higher percent of transferring to four-year institutions or completing a certificate, and they have a higher chance of success in life afterwards. The community college already has significant relationships between 150 industries, and we do education for them, and that's one of the things that you're thinking about doing. That's already present, and rather, I think we need to look at working together with some of the resources that we have, and those are available. The interesting thing about dual enrollment in Muskegon is that our rate of dual enrollment is lower than the national average, yet all these benefits are there. The primary reason is because of funding. In dual enrollment, monies have to transfer from the K-12 to the college to pay for those. Things have changed now, however, and we have legislation pending that would have independent funding for dual enrollment so that K-12 maintain their enrollment and extra money goes to dual enrollment. A high school student now with dual enrollment, with the Muskegon Promise and the Michigan Guaranteed 2 years, they can finish high school debt-free with 2 years of credits going forward. I would like to see more cooperation between K-12 and dual enrollment and the community college we have present.
I guess there's a question in there, Matt.
So, first of all, go blue. I like your sweater. We have significant relationships, not just with Muskegon Community College. We have Baker College and we have Michigan State University. We house 4 different courses on our campus from Michigan State University for students to be able to take. We house courses from Baker and courses from MCC, as well as send students to those. We do this as a school. We've done it for a while. My son graduated last summer, and he graduated with 15 college credits, along with his diploma, because that's what he chose to do. This is a choice that students get to make, and it's an experience that we embrace very wholeheartedly. Can we do more? We can. We can get a student to graduate with a diploma in this hand and an associate's degree in this hand. It is possible. And that is what we are working toward if that student, if that's their passion that they want to chase. So thank you.
Thank you to our speakers. I've been a taxpayer in the Muskegon Public School District since 1985. I've always been a proud Big Red, despite my wife being at Catholic Central for 41 years. I am no prouder today than ever than what you guys are doing. Thank you very much. Speakers honorarium this year will be a Muskegon Rotary Club donation for supplies and materials used by our club members and youth from our Interact clubs as they take service trips to El Salvador and Honduras. Birthday slide, Mike? We have Heidi Seitzma, Ed Hendrickson, Missy Horton, and Claire Root Benson. Do we have a leading singer out there? I don't see either of them. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. For those wanting to contribute, needing to contribute, $10 is your birthday gift to Caring Connection. You can use the envelope. The QR code is up here and is also in the rim. Today, Rotary in Action, we have 10 Rotarians. Michael?
I'm Mike Vogus, and I'm here to talk about other Rotarians who just completed a theatrical celebration of community pride in the 50-year-old musical Muskegon Lumber Queen. It was the result of Muskegon Rotarians in Action. Here's how. I floated the idea. Steve Olson said, "How much do you need?" And we were off to the tune of Olson's fundraising prowess. Bob Skolnick set his millions of Facebook followers on fire with fundraising and attendance boosting. Melissa Horton fired up her historical forge to approve the acquisition of the script copyright. She also shouldered fiduciary roles, ticket sales, and various methods of hand-holding. Tim Lipan arose from the ashes of a lifetime in social media management to assume the responsibilities of marketing in the world of 2 seconds on screen and you're gone. His mastery of Facebook and how to influence a turnout did just that. He turned them out and packed our theater all 3 times. DJ Hilson took on several parts. He played both a backwoods comedian in plaid and a pompous Muskegon mayor who brought the crowd to its feet several times. Kendra Robinson danced the can-can, rocked the crowd with her enthusiasm, and brought her daughter along to do the same. Randy Lindquist brought the house down with his vocal version of Daylight in the Swamp, joined by a chorus of equally unkempt loggers straight out of the woods. Gary Nealand, a first-time actor with the timorous attitude to prove it, screwed his courage to the sticking place and brought the house down as Sam the bartender, as well as several other equally pungent parts. Dave Alexander, possibly thinking Muskegon moment, asked for a Rotary lunch program to afford us a chance to build some momentum, and it worked. To those Rotarians who helped make this project successful but didn't find your way into this tribute today, thank you too.
Randy Lindquist.
Thanks for that tribute, Mike. We appreciate that. Thank you all who attended or were able to attend the Lumber Queen. I can speak for our fellow Rotarians who were a part of it. We had a blast doing it. It was a ton of fun. The audiences were great. But I wanted to take a few seconds to thank our director. Mike Vogus is a treasure to this community. He's a treasure to Rotary. He gave time, talent, energy, direction, and the passion he put into this was unreal. He's amazing. I thank him, and we want to give him a big standing O one last time for Lumber Queen. Thank you, Mike Vogus.
Bring that down a little bit, Randy. Thank you. There are no inductions. We'll have 3 next week, and no Paul Harris Awards, but I do want to make a couple of recognitions. Athena honoree, Dewana Thompson, and Samantha Scott. Samantha was the winner of the Young Athena Award. And in another effort this last weekend, Karen Kakelik, how did I do? Did I get it? Nailed it. Karen, JCI Fall Conference, the JCs, was named the Outstanding Young Michigander Award here in the state of Michigan. To Dewana, Samantha, and Karen, you make us proud. Okay, on to some brief announcements. If you have a club committee event, please come forward at this time, keeping your remarks to 2 minutes. Next scheduled Rewind meeting is next Thursday, October 16th, 5:15 at the Core Plaza's Vault. The club's nominating committee, thank you, Roger, for spearheading this, has a tentative slate of officers and board of directors for 25-26 Rotary year, starting July 1. Your Rotary board will receive recommendations at Tuesday meeting and will be asked to present the slate to the membership for approval at the annual meeting in December. The recommendation may also come with the slate bylaw revision, and that will be presented to the membership in November. Details to come. Rotarians Susan Crane and Linda Juarez have stepped up to co-chair the International World Affairs Council, taking over from Mike Eisenbarth. Thank you for your leadership, ladies, and to all those interested in international service, please see either Susan or Linda. Remember the volunteer opportunity for our second microforest, a work B at Muskegon Lake Nature Center on Lake Avenue in North Muskegon, with interactors and Rotarians. We'll be gathering at the site Saturday, October 18th, 9 a.m. to noon, to put down cardboard and spread wood chips. Ed Hendrickson, I'm sad to say, has been back into the hospital, so keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And that also we are going to need a assistant sergeant at arms as Ed works through his health issues. I'm seeking someone who will take over his duties on a temporary basis as our Assistant Sergeant at Arms to set up and tear down elements of the meeting before and after lunch each week. Please see me if you can step forward and fill this very important role. And finally for me, and then we'll have Sarah up, save the date. Saturday, November 8th, we've got two things that we as a club have supported. The Muskegon Young Black Professionals has their Shades of Excellence Awards at the Van Dyke Convention Center that evening, along with the Killer Blues Headstone Project having Thorena Davis at Unruly. So next up, Sarah.
Hi all, just a quick Big Read announcement. So we handed about 20 copies of Big Read out to Rotarians. If you did not purchase the book, just a reminder that we would like to circulate those. There are some people on the waiting list who are waiting for books, so just return those at some point when you get a chance. Of course, if you don't want to wait, you can always go to some of our amazing libraries and check it out there. There's a few of them in town, I heard. And you can always do Hoopla or Libby too. Those are like ways to stream the book and read it on your devices. So many options. We did just hear from MCC's English faculty, Sean Cochleasier, that Wednesday, October 29th, between 6:30 and 8, they will be hosting a Rotary book discussion. So put that in your calendars. It's going to happen at the college. It's going to be a great opportunity. The students, I should say, have already read the book. They are digging into themes in their classrooms. They've got discussion questions already for y'all. So let's make this a cool multi-generational conversation. There will be, I'm hoping, where's Kim, Sign Up Genius email that is sent out to Rotarians. So if you are interested and can come, make sure you sign up. We'll get you the discussion questions before the event. So thanks much.
Okay, friends, you probably know why I'm here. I'm here to talk about Harvest Fest. So I have a couple questions. Please raise your hand if you are volunteering. Yes, yes, an email should have gone out today for you to purchase your tickets at a discount. Thank you. Now, please raise your hand if you are sponsoring in any way, shape, or form, or donated something or something awesome. Love it. Now, please raise your hand if you have purchased a ticket. There's 7 people with their hands up, y'all. 7 people, okay? So my point with saying that is that we would love for you guys to buy a ticket. Because, remember, it's for the kids, and Jamie's here to talk about that.
Hi, everybody. Jamie Soa here, and I'm here to talk about how you can support my students. So my students have been working really hard as the host site for the event. And so how can you support? You can buy tickets, because the money that you spend on tickets, some of it goes back to our student scholarship fund that they need as a safety net. Also, I want to let you know some of the menu items that they have. So one of the items that's made by Chef Crystal Williams, she is a Muskegon alum, and she is a shared faculty member with the program that you just learned about. So she's making a veal herb crostini. There's also an action station, which is prepared by Justin Kinziger, and it's Asian dumplings. So it's a really good way for you to engage with these kids, because they really need to have the experience serving people in the community. And then we also have a dessert that's made by Chef Amanda Miller, and she was on a show called School of Chocolate on Netflix. And so what a great opportunity for you to meet a local celebrity. So please purchase tickets so that our students feel supported. You know, and we would love for them to engage with you. So just do it for the kids.
I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that. I have no musical theme.
Melissa Moore, I am with Reed Muskegon, but also the Rotary Literacy Committee. And when we met about a month ago, two things came out of that. One is that I'm working with Dave, as he mentioned a couple weeks ago, to create some joint initiatives with Spring Lake and Grand Haven clubs. So we'll be having more information on that. But the other thing that the committee decided was that they would utilize Reed Muskegon's knowledge of volunteer needs around literacy in the county to mobilize Rotary to help fill those needs. So the first one that I am bringing to you is a pretty immediate need. We lost some funding for a program that we do in partnership with Goodwill. So we are providing English as a second language classes at Goodwill. That funding just means that we had to consolidate both beginning and intermediate into one class. So what we're looking for now are people that would be willing to spend an hour or so once a week in conversation with some English language learners at a beginning level to help them improve their English skills, which then helps them become more employable, helps them integrate more into our community. So I will put something in the RIM. We will provide a very simple training, but really it's just about showing up and being in conversation with some of our learners while they're there. And it truly is a life-changing opportunity. So it's not just about you, it's about all the networks of people that you all know that could also participate in this. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Arn Bozard here. Want to share with you that 2 weeks from today, we will have successfully completed our food distribution truck, which is scheduled for Wednesday, October 22. We are receiving a truck that day from Feeding America West Michigan. It will be stationed at the Supper House on Jefferson in the Methodist Church parking lot across from Muskegon Heights High School main entrance. We need volunteers. If you are interested in helping out from 4 to 6 p.m., would love to have you let me know. You can either see me after today's meeting. We'll pitch this event again next week. You can also just send me a text message via my mobile phone, of course. One of the things I need to track down, maybe this is a John Nolan question, I know he's not here today, are the location of the Rotary work aprons. We have some very nice aprons that we...
Andrew Cutler, we'll get those.
Okay, great, thank you. So again, Wednesday, October 22, 4 to 6 p.m. It's a great opportunity to mix and engage with the community, and we need at least 15 volunteers. So some of you have already contacted me. Please keep those names and volunteer participants coming. Thanks.
My name down. Oh, okay. Thanks all. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? Raffle, Cynthia Maynard. Cynthia, here we go. What are we going to do first? What? How much? How? $5. $5. Nine, 3, 2. Jenny. What? No, how much now? $10. 987. Lisa. For $20. Zero, 1, 2. Looking out back. Our program next week will be the Big Read Lakeshore, so get lots of information on that. After the bell, as we mingle, I will play Jackson Brown's Loadout Stay. In background, in honor and appreciation for our meeting crew, Mike, Kim, John, Kim, all those who have helped out, along with the staff here at the Lake House. Thank you for making our meetings so meaningful. Now, if you are a sports person, it's Overboard Weekend, fans, if you're in the state of Michigan. Red Wings tonight with Montreal on the season opener. Pistons continue their preseason tonight with the Bucks in Milwaukee. Tigers and Seattle. Woo! Thank you, Christy, for reports from Detroit. That will be Friday evening. Michigan USC and Michigan State UCLA Saturday. Hopefully the Tigers in Toronto Sunday. And then the Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday. Enjoy, people. Members and guests, please rise as we recite the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, let's unite for good. We are adjourned.